We have this epidemic in our culture where it's more the norm than the exception to essentially talk about ourselves like crap. Hello, my name is Stephanie. I'm a therapist on Long Island, New York that specializes in the treatment of eating disorders and body image issues. If you're interested in this video, if you like it at the end, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in learning more about eating disorders, body image issues, general mental health and well-being, and therapeutic tools, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope that you'll find it helpful. Now on to the topic. Why is it so much the norm that we talk about ourselves like crap and constantly having this negative language about ourselves and to ourselves, such as I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm not funny, and all these other things that we talk about or that we say to ourselves about ourselves? We have almost like this fantasy or this belief that by saying these things to ourselves, it's almost going to be helpful for us in some way. There's almost a fear of what would happen if you don't say these things about yourself. And this discomfort with maybe being more positive about yourself and not seeing things or not saying things such as the things that I had just mentioned in such a negative way. It's more normal to do that than it is to be positive, and it's more comfortable to be negative about yourself than it is to be positive so often in our culture. This video is really going to address the power of language. Language is essentially so powerful, and it could do so much damage as well as so much good for us. Now let me give you a circumstance. Let's say you take a test in school and you didn't do as well as you had liked. There's two ways to look at it, and at least what I'm going to be discussing. One, a lot of people who struggle with eating disorders tend to be like this, or people who just struggle with self-image and self-esteem. They're going to resort to something along the lines as, I'm so stupid. Okay. The other way to look at it is that there's room to grow. Okay, maybe I need to alter my study techniques. Maybe there's something to learn from this, and maybe I can improve next time. So we have on the one end, stupid is the resulting thought. And on the other end, okay, there's room for improvement. Now, what are the differences between these? Let's look at the I'm stupid statement for a second. The I'm stupid statement, that's negative, hurtful, self-destructive, non-constructive, and it keeps you stuck. Now, on the other hand, when you are saying something to yourself such as, okay, there's room for improvement, I have room to improve, that is constructive, productive, and it's going to help move you forward. Let's take a look at a different example. A lot of times when it comes to eating disorders, the resounding belief about themselves is that I'm fat. And it's really, really very difficult for someone with an eating disorder to get away from that and change that into a more productive language. When you say things such as I'm fat, and it's obviously a very negative connotation in the mind of an eating disorder, or really in our culture. So when you say that you're fat or I'm fat, it's not going to be helpful for you in any way. But it's where your comfort is. It's more comfortable to you to say that than to say, I'm not fat. Why is it more comfortable? And that's something that I always am talking about with my clients. Why is it that it's so hard for you to let go of this belief? Why is it so hard for you to even just take this language out of your vocabulary, take this phrase out of your vocabulary? And more often than not, after of course some exploring, it's usually not just at the forefront of their minds or anyone's mind, but it in some way is a belief that by saying this to yourself, that's going to be the changing factor. That's going to be what pushes you to change. It's going to be what pushes you to motivate you and pushes you forward. However, let me ask you this. How is that working for you? What positive has your phrase, I'm fat, ever done for you? Has it actually perpetuated you to eat healthy and pursue a diet and actually be able to stay on that diet? Has it been anything sustainable to you? When you say that you're fat, or the language I'm fat, it's only going to be hurtful for you. It's not going to produce any sustainable behavior change. And you may argue back that, oh yeah, you've lost weight in the past or whatever because of this language. But it will turn into, by being negative about yourself, talking negatively toward yourself, it leads to very unsustainable behavioral changes, because it's really from a place of, it's pushed from a place of passion, and it's very quick flamed. It'll run out that type of extreme behaviors that you normally will engage in because of the negative language that you're using. It doesn't last, and it just really hurts you. Being positive about yourself and talking positive about and to yourself is what actually leads to positive and sustainable behavioral changes and lifestyle changes. And it's not going to make you unhappy, irritable, and all that stuff that the negative language and the negative self-talk actually produces within yourself. All right, now that we identified that negative self-talk doesn't really get you anywhere, and it's just hurtful and it's not non-productive and non-constructive, what is the solution? Again, we never want problems without solutions. So the solution is obviously working more toward working our language to be more positive. However, this doesn't just happen overnight, and it does take work. So the very first step is identifying the self-talk. More often than not, you probably don't even recognize this self-talk anymore, because it's just now been the narrative in your brain that just continues to talk. And it's just easy, and it goes without thinking that you are being negative or saying negative things about yourself. So the very first step is bringing your focus and your noticing of it into your attention. So next time that you notice yourself saying it, catch yourself and just notice it. That's the first step, because when we notice it, then we can do something about it. And then what we do when we start noticing it and being more in tune to that, then what we want to do is find a constructive and productive and positive answer to it, or a positive way to look at it. As I said before with the test situation, that I'm stupid, it can be instead, there's room for growth. Again, that's productive and constructive. So that's something that takes time. It takes a little bit of effort to do. Well, actually not a little bit, a lot of effort to do. So what I would suggest doing is, when you do notice the things that you're saying to yourself that are negative, just keep a list of them. Keep a running list of it. And when you can, look at it objectively and say, if you have to think about it as though someone else is saying that and you're outside of yourself for a second, what would be positive responses to that thing, so that you can actually start to recognize what's positive and productive statements instead of the negative ones. And then the last step is putting into motion. So when you notice that the negative self-talk is coming, every single time replace it with a positive statement. And over time, that starts to replace the thoughts. Hard, but not impossible. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on this video, what your thoughts are about this negative, positive self-talk, and what do you think about the power of language. Today, I am wishing you positive self-talk on your journey to finding your state of balance, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.